Welcome to Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway. Yes, it's happened, folks. I've got my lovely assistant back. Oh man, I am so happy. So, without any further ado, what I'm going to do tonight is an artist of mine that may not be an artist of yours. The Strawbs, British band, started in the mid-60s. Went through the 70s and, I didn't quite make it through the 70s, but, they got back together and, they had a long, long history. And when I was in high school, I was looking to, mellow out a little bit, And a friend of mine by the name of Matt, one of the talented musicians from the neighborhood, he was the only one.
One of two.
But yeah, one of two. And anyway, he introduced me to the Strawbs. He lent me a whole bunch of records. Imagine that. Remember that when people used to lend you records? Big mistake, folks. But
yeah, I
he
never
got
gave
his
them
records back. But anyway, I became a fan right away. And I don't have their entire catalog. I'm really sorry. So what I'm going to do is kind of try to relate some of these albums to other albums that I have, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So, back in 1967, the Strawbs, as they existed, David Cousins and Tony Hooper and Ron Chesterman on bass, they went to Denmark with a great singer called Sandy Denny, and they recorded this album. Now this album didn't come out until 1973. This is an import. It's on the Hallmark. It's like a Pickwick, a cheapy label. It's not bad quality because it's not the American Pickwick. The British Pickwick was a little better quality. But anyway, they put out this album. Sandy Denny writes one song on the album, and the song is "Who Knows Where the Time Goes." What a voice. Now I gotta admit, I don't always understand the lyrics when Sandy Denny is singing, but she has such a tone in her voice, it just makes you want to cry. But anyway, here we go. Sandy Denny and the Strawbs. But alas, Sandy Denny leaves the Strawbs, joins Fairport Convention, does a few good albums with Fairport Convention. They were happy to have her. This Legion Leaf, really good album, kind of like the British folk scene. And the British folk scene was quite different than the American folk scene. I kind of like it better because they take a lot of British folk songs, from the Isles and rock them up a bit. She did a very nice, Who Knows Where the Time Goes on this album too.
Okay.
So she brought the song to Fairport Convention. And she had embarked on a solo career. Nice little solo album there. All on A&M Records, all of these albums. That's like that label. It's like a re-release label. Not the older brown labels. I'll show you one of those later.
Oops.
Anyhow. Oh yeah, and you might remember Sandy Denny from the Battle of Evermore on the Led Zeppelin's fourth album. Nice little picture. This is like a 180-gram reissue, because the one that I had when I was a kid, of course, got trashed. They go through all the trouble of making 180-gram thick vinyl, but they don't put a lot of thought into reprocessing the album cover. This is very dull. The colors are just all off. Even the black is not black.
I like that.
Oh yeah, this is like Gandalf looking down at the people below. There's another cover I'm going to show you soon that has a similar theme. Anyway, I call this the last great Led Zeppelin album. What do you say, Lori?
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, remember them?
Why are you putting the Strawbs in that?
I know.
Category?
Well, Sandy Denny really, does a great job on one of those songs. And So anyway, so the Strawbs are, they get a new bass player, John Ford, they add a drummer, John Hudson, and they need a keyboard player. The keyboard player played on their second album on one song. These albums are produced by Tony Visconti, and Tony Visconti was also producing David Bowie.
Oh, I thought that was Sandy Denny's hair.
Yes, no, she never went punk.
Like her hair got effed up.
Yeah, so
All right.
this is also a reissue from 1973. But anyway, so Rick Wakeman played keyboards on Space Oddity, and Tony Visconti was producing David Bowie at that time. So he says, hey, I know this band looking for a keyboard player. I'm making this up as I go, by the way. But anyway, long story short, Rick Wakeman joins the Strawbs. They're all sitting around the ale house.
We're getting a little glare on the album cover, so in case you could, that's better.
And this album, just a collection of antiques and curios, is like a mostly live album. And it turned out to be a little bit of a success. And Rick Wakeman just shines on it. It's like now they got like a...
What is that, Ichabod Crane?
I don't know, right? That's so cool.
I like that.
There's the lyrics to the Strawbs songs are really good.
In case you're wondering why I'm holding this very
what is
heavy,
this?
I think this
What
freaking
is
fishing
this?
pole
What
is
is
made
this?
out of
Wait,
cast
see if I
iron.
can-
For those of you who don't remember our early JVHs, we used to do Stump the Jamie. We have resurrected Stump the Jamie. This is question number 1. And if Jamie is stumped,
Careful.
please feel free to put in the comments what the actual answer,
All
correct
right,
answer.
what do we got here? Okay.
Dun,
Which Strawbs album cover had... Oh, we
Read.
didn't
No,
get
you have to read the
that.
question out loud. Your audience doesn't know what
All
it
right.
says.
Which Strawbs album cover had a picture of a man drowning in a phone booth? Well, we're going to come to that. So,
Oh, so you're going to cheat?
well, no, it's the last album in the.
No, but if you
in
don't
the list.
know, that's cheating.
Well, maybe.
So you don't know.
But you'll see it as it comes.
Oh, you pay.
You want me to say it?
No. Well, yes, because
It's
otherwise
there.
you're going to
It's
cheat.
there.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the album?
Uh,
How otherwise would I know?
Deep Cuts, I think.
Wrong answer, so you're stumped.
I'll
So
tell-
audience,
it's
he's stumped.
deep something.
If you know, put it in
It's
the
deep.
comments,
It wasn't
please.
one of their great albums. That's why.
That wasn't the question.
Well, you got to pick the great albums for the questions. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So
So he stumped people.
this album here.
Professor is
There's
stumped.
Rick Wakeman does some really great stuff. But what's the song? Where is this dream of your youth? It's one of those jam tunes.
Youth?
Where is this dream of your youth, as we say here in New York? Anyhow, so fortunately for the Strawbs, they do another album with Rick Wakeman. From the Witchwood. This is such a cool
Witchwood.
album. By the way, this is also a reissue. The original one didn't have this big brown Strawbs across the top here. But it was just like all one color like that. Nice gatefold cover. Oh, and this has the tapestry of Saint Jerome.
Is that a real saint? It sounds like.
Oh yeah, the real deal. This This is in a museum somewhere. I forget, in Spain, perhaps.
Jerome Avenue.
But this one has some really great stuff on it. The Hangman and the Papist is one of my favorites.
The Hangman and the Papist?
Yeah. I learned from this. I learned a lot because I was still in high school.
Man, they went deep.
Doing it was like a papist. What the hell is a papist?
You were doing acid in high school?
Huh? No, there's no acid in here.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
No, anyway, it turns out, well, I'm a papist. Hey, we're all papists now, right? Right, Lori? Are you with it? Get with it. Come on. Follow me here. I know you're concentrating.
You got stumped on the first question, and you're
It's
asking me
deep-
to follow
it's deep
you?
cuts.
Follow you where?
Deep cuts.
Okay. I'm not a deep cut gal. I'm a Bon Jovi gal.
All right, but this album is just so a glimpse of heaven. Witchwood, 30 Days. John Ford does some songs. Hudson plays the drummer plays the sitar on this. Just a really good album, you know. But alas, Rick Wakeman, he sees greener pastures and has to go join Yes. Of course, he joins Yes and he becomes a superstar, right? So anyway, this is the first album he played with on with Yes, Fragile. We all know Fragile.
Oh, I thought you said it was tragic. See, this is what happens.
Well, it was kind of tragic. Well, no, it wasn't tragic, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But look, remember this one, The Six Wives of Henry VIII? This is one of Rick Wakeman's first solo album. And the Strawbs play on one song on this, a couple of the Strawbs at least, David Cousins, Chas Cronk, who, well, we'll talk about him later.
The Kronks, from the Kronks.
Kronk, not the Conks, but the Kronks. Oh yeah, so here we are. So, are we doing that again already?
Well, there's 3 of them. When do you suggest I do them?
In a minute. Just in a minute, because first we got to get to this one here. So, Blue Weaver joins the band, and he's playing keyboards. What an awesome keyboard player. And they put out this album, Grave New World. This is a nice little import. Oh look, there's a guy on a mountaintop again.
Oh, a threefold.
Yeah, this is a threefold gatefold.
I've never seen a threefold.
This is a British import. You ever seen it? Yeah,
No.
Yeah. You remember the Woodstock album?
Yeah, but I didn't know. You wouldn't let me touch it to open
That's
it.
true. I was afraid you'd start,
What?
mishandling it.
Putting it in my collection?
Check this out, though. And we saw, the British apparently had, they also had that brown A&M record label. But look at this. Can you see the light through it?
Yeah, why?
Isn't that cool?
But why?
Because it's made of some sort of transparent vinyl. It's
But it's black.
well, not really. It's got kind of like an amber tint to it. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can see the light shining through. But anyway, this is a really good album. It's got Benedictus on it, New World, and the artwork by William Blake, famous English poet and artist. Grave New World.
Lovely.
Blue Weaver on,
Like it.
on keyboards. Really,
Can
really
I?
does a great job.
All right, we're swinging again.
All right, well that's...
You
that's
know what?
not-
We have to get more sophisticated and have like a theme song for every time I swing the pole.
All right. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Oh,
our
yeah,
audience would
I need
enjoy
patches.
it.
Careful, it's coming back at you.
Why would you fling it like that?
I thought maybe it'd be dramatic. How many members did the Strawbs have across their entire history? Oh, that's a good question. Because already we got like 8 people. We haven't even barely started.
Well, just because I happen to know the answer to that question,
Yeah, that's not something I would have...
it's a lot more than that. You are not even close.
Well, but we will mention some of them on the way. No, I'm just saying we haven't gotten
all
past
right,
number 8.
all right.
Right? But I'm not going to count now for the audience. But, we mentioned a few people,
All right.
Oh, and David Cousins does a solo album in 1972. Pretty good stuff. David Cousins being like the primary songwriter and singer for the Strawbs. And who does he get to play bass on some of the songs? But
Who?
fucking
Oh.
Glover.
Oh, that would have been
Why
a
did
good.
my mind go blank with fucking Glover?
That would have been a great
Yeah.
stump to Jamie because you actually know the answer.
Well, yeah, but for some reason Roger somehow went blank on me. Roger Glover, bass player for Deep Purple, plays a little bit with David Cousins, but of course they got to get back out and do another Strawbs album. This album was like a big breakthrough for them. both in the UK and sort of in the US.
What's the name of that record?
Bursting at the Seams. And the name of the record comes from the fact that the band is bursting at the seams. It's about to disintegrate here. Turns out that Hudson and Ford write the biggest hit on this album, which is Part of the Union, which is, I'm sure, a union cry today over in Britain. I don't know why, it was, they got some airplay in the US. And then the song Lay Down, remember that one? Anyway, they played that and that got some airplay. But what is this? This is another one of those brown labels. Oh, look at that. What, are you getting cold back there?
No, I just.
I see it bundling.
No, you don't catch me doing that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, she's never cold, folks, by the way. Anyway, oh yeah, and the engineer on these albums is Tom Allen. Tony Visconti is he's not producing them anymore. This one was produced by the Strawbs, and Tom Allen is the engineer.
Did they have some kind of ugly rift? Was there scandal?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But guess who Tom Allen? Well, guess what album he engineered?
Led Zeppelin.
No, Black Sabbath.
Oh.
Yeah, like the first
Look
three
at that.
Sabbath albums, and this one. This is I had this when I was a kid. It's a nice little green Warner Brothers. Anyway. Yeah, Black Sabbath, go figure. Right? Oh yeah, so Hudson and Ford leave the group. They do their own thing, Hudson and Ford. This is Hudson and Ford album. Hudson drummer, Ford Ford bass player, formed their own group.
Oh, I get it. It's a gas can.
Yeah, this is a gas can. Free Spirit is the name of the album.
That's a cool
embossed.
vintage looking. I like that.
Now,
album
it could have
cover.
been cut out though on the corner. It probably was at some point. I don't know. It's nice embossed cover. They had some success, mostly in Britain, probably. Anyway, so now they need what do they need? Oh yeah, they need another keyboard player. They need a bass player and they need a drummer. So what are they gonna do? Oh yeah, what happens to Blue Weaver, by the way? Blue Weaver takes off and he starts touring with other groups.
Oh, I thought he left to spend more time with his family.
No, that comes later. I think that was, yeah.
Who's that, Mata Hoople?
Yeah, it turns out he's on this
Oh.
Mata Hoople live album. Or half of it, at least. He tours with Mata Hoople. Here's where things get really weird. I'm just going to stick with Blue Weaver for a minute. A couple of years later, he winds up with the Bee Gees of all. Now he's like their guy. Matter of fact, this picture is in here somewhere. But anyway, so he's making good money with the Bee Gees, happy. He's even with the Bee Gees when they put this out. Oh yeah.
Stop,
right?
you're gonna make me get up
Yeah.
and do the bus stop.
The dreaded Saturday Night Fever. Okay, it's story time.
You're the only one that dreads it.
You want to hear a story? No, I only dread it most of the time. And I'll tell you why. Because in 2007, me and my buddy Dennis were in Prague.
I know this story.
Yeah, the Prague, story. We're in for some reason we wanted to see what the, Eastern Bloc was all about, after it, fell. So we go into this, discotheque in Prague. Dennis is like, hey, let's go into that place. Looks happening. It's like, really? I was thinking that little bar over there is more my kind of thing. No, let's go in there. So we go in there. It's like 3 stories. The first story is people dancing like go-go dancers.
How awful.
So it's not, I know.
How
It's not-
awful
it wasn't
for
just
you.
Women. It was like guys. It was like, and then this horrible, techno music, So we go up to floor number 2, different music, right? That's like, industrial music. Oh yeah, no, it's bad. It's like, even Dennis was like, he has tolerance for these things. So we hung out there, got another, glass of Crucial Ice beer, and went up to the 3rd floor. And we got to the 3rd floor, thinking, oh man, it's going to be more of this, and we got to. But the 3rd floor was like jive talking. I was never so glad in my life to hear jive talking. But there it was on the 3rd floor.
Hey, don't toss that around.
Don't worry, that's not yours.
Okay.
Yours is.
But even so, it's sacrilegious.
I wouldn't do that with just
Little
any
respect. Little respect.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
There's
something.
a lot of those.
When I'm playing that and people come in my store and they're looking through,
your store?
yes, my
Great Eye
store,
Finds?
my Great Eye Finds
Yeah.
vintage store here
Yeah.
in Mountain Dale, New York.
Mm-hmm.
When something like Saturday Night Fever is coming out the Bluetooth speaker, they start singing, they start dancing. Now they're spending money. They're in a good, happy mood. That does not happen when the death metal is playing. So
No, and if Hero and Heroine came on, they'd be like, "What is that great Mellotron sound?" But
no one's ever
don't-
said that.
So anyway, the next album, you got Rod Coombs, the drummer from Steelers Wheel. I don't have any Steelers Wheels albums, so
You don't?
No, do you? By the way, that was
I don't know.
that was
I could look.
my lovely assistant's Bee Gees album, the one I didn't throw across the room. So Rod Coombs comes from Steelers Wheel, stuck in the middle with you. Chas Kronk joins as bass player,
From the Kronks.
and John Hawkins. John Hawkins. Now, where does John Hawkins come from, you say? John Hawkins not only played...
The Hawkins Trio.
Or was it Hawkin? John Hawkin,
Depends.
he not only played with the Nashville Teens. Remember the Nashville Teens? Tobacco Road?
Do you see my face?
Yeah.
Do I look like I remember?
Oh, you know Tobacco Road. You know this song. And you thought,
Oh, yeah, I
wow, what
do.
a great
I do.
bunch of American dudes from Nashville. It's really a British band. But anyway, and then he joins Renaissance. And you say,
Oh.
Renaissance. But no, this isn't the Renaissance that you know. This is the Renaissance that Keith Relf and Jim McCarty from the Yardbirds formed.
Oh,
And
that's
Jo-
what
and
I
John
thought.
Hawkins played the keyboards.
Oh,
They
shit.
put out a couple albums and then totally regrouped. Kept the name. Told 5 different people, and became the Renaissance we know and love. Does that make them a tribute band because they don't have their original members?
Can you connect the dots, though, back to the Strawbs?
Yeah,
What?
John Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
He was in the Renaissance.
All right. I wasn't.
Yeah, and he was also in a band called The Illusion, and then he moves on to the Strawbs, and they put out one of their coolest albums, Hero and Heroine. And again, it revisits that great, Mellotron sound that Blue Weaver did so well, little organ that Rick Wakeman did so well. John Hawkins proves to be quite capable.
And what year was this? Can we get a little chronology? What year was this?
Oh, yeah. So this is about like 1973.
Okay. Didn't know. Oh, so we're still in the 70s. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we're not going to get out of the 70s.
Who wants to get out of the
Unfortunately,
70s?
I know. I wish I was still in the 70s.
I don't. I didn't ever want to get out of the 70s.
I know, right? But 1974, lovely. Another really cool album, Ghosts. I love this album. It's got the song Ghosts on it. Oh, yeah. They need a new guitar player, too. I didn't mention, they got a new guitar player.
What was with all the
I thought
revolving
what
door
happened,
of the
Tony
musicians?
Hooper left after Grave New World and they picked up Dave Lambert.
Why were these people in and out like this?
Well, they had other things to do.
I feel like something else was
Well,
going
maybe
on.
it's because David Cousins wrote like 90% of the songs and they're thinking, maybe I want to write like 90% of the songs. Or sing more.
We know other bands like that and they stuck together.
No, but there's other bands that have even more members. And the thing that makes them all, in common is that one guy. All right, stop talking. Ghosts. goes. So Tom Allom is producing the albums at this point. Tom Allom. What would you say? Allom. How would you say that?
Allom.
Yeah, Allom.
Allom.
Allom, like all. Oh, so what happens to Tom Allom? Later on, who does he produce?
Judas H. Priest.
Yeah. He produced a whole bunch of records for Judas Priest.
That should be a
Go
stump.
figure, right?
That's a Stump the Jamie question.
Right? Yeah, it's like...
Who used to scream from his recliner, Judas H. Priest?
Anyway, John Hawkins is gone. Now they have no keyboard player. They put out another album, No Madness.
Ooh, that looks like Barry Gibb over there.
Rick Wakeman comes in
Andy
to...
Gibb in the corner.
Rick Wakeman comes in to, help out a little bit. And then two guys, John Melling and Ron Kirby, fill in on the
This
keyboards.
is your last Stump the Jamie.
Yeah, well, we're getting down to the end.
This is really heavy.
We're getting down to the end.
Just take the damn thing.
Ah.
By the way, we have a lead weight on the bottom of the Stump the Jamie.
Oh, here we go. The last
Lead
Stump
weight.
Jamie.
Like a
3 more albums there. When was the Strawbs' final concert? Oh, that's a good question. I was just reading somewhere they did a 30th concert in like 1990. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. Much more recent than that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
And we missed
Unfortunately, David Cousins died like last year. So that's pretty much the end of it.
Well, he wasn't dead when they did their last concert.
I should hope not, because
It
it
was
wouldn't
not
be the
dead.
Strawbs without David Cousins. They put out this album, Deep Tracks. I'm thinking, XM Radio. Deep Cuts. They put out Deep Cuts. Rupert Holmes, of all people, produces Deep Cuts. Rupert Holmes.
Of all people.
The coconut song or whatever, the pina colada song, which is called Escape. Okay, give us a few bars of the pina colada song.
I'm not singing that song.
Anyway, I don't know how they got him, but it's all the same guys. Dave Lambert, Chas Cronk, and Rod Combs, and Kirby and Melling are filling in, and Rupert Holmes produces this album. It's got some interesting stuff
There's
on
just
it.
a lot
Not
of
the greatest thing they've
cross-pollination
ever did.
going on. I don't
But,
know about these
a lot of what?
Strawbs. Cross-pollinating.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. All right. Ron Coombs is the drummer, but I think he's on his way out. He's on his way out. Oh no, he's still on this album.
You don't have...
Burning for You.
Oh, I like that cover.
Oh, you like that? That's like an art by.
You know why I like it?
Well, because it's.
It looks like my logo.
Oh, with the eyes. Oh, I get it. Anyway, now they're on Polydor Records, by the way. Yeah. Oyster,
Hodor.
which is a subsidy of Polydor.
Hodor. Hodor.
So they did the last 2 albums with Polydor. This album was, it didn't do so great. They're losing momentum now. It's like 1977. You know what's going on in 1977. It's not this, and this is not the same Burning for You that Blue Oyster Cult. Remember that song?
I didn't think it was.
But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one. Oh, Deadlines. Where did I get Deep Cuts from? What is that?
Let's see that album cover. What you're
It's
doing
okay.
right now is not helping us. Oh, look at it, man, in a phone booth
Yeah,
drowning.
Deadlines. I get it. Deadlines. Maybe that's like, look at this. It should have been a gatefold. They're out in some remote place, and you could tell, me being a phone guy, you could tell it's a British phone in there, man. I don't know what kind of phone that is, but anyway, that's kind of unsettling. The guy, drowning in a phone booth.
Yeah, that's pretty
They got a new drummer, Tony Fernandez or something. And, it's on Arista Records, right? Oh, this is like a promo. Yeah, Arista, little white label thing there.
Wow,
Anyway, then it all goes, that's it. They break up, but they get back together. And I got to see them once I did see them at the Calderon Concert Hall in like 75. And remember that in Hempstead?
Yes, I
Great place.
do. But I never
And,
went to a
And
concert.
then I saw them in the 80s at some point at Hammerheads. which might have been called Chevys at the time. David Cousins was there signing autographs. He was really like writing poetry. I should have got him to fill something out for me. But a lot of the old guys were there. Well, there it is.
There it
The
is.
Strawbs, right? You
Now
didn't
you
even
know everything.
that was even a group, right?
What, me? I knew.
You knew?
I also thought it was a beer, but that turned out to be Strawbs.
Oh, yeah,
Strawbs.
right. Strawbs is short for Strawberry Hill Boys.
Now that
There's a whole strawberry connection here. I didn't show you any of the compilations with the strawberries on them, but now it all fits together.
yeah, and now we're gonna wrap it up because
We're
you
gonna wrap
know
it up because
everything.
we've been going on and on. And listen, you know, thanks for sticking through. We're gonna come up with something really cool soon. Thanks to my lovely assistant for being here. And later, man, move it.
And we're out.